This is chapter 1 of F8 auditing. First one we will say introduction to auditing. That is what is the need for audit. See, the need for audit is we have studied in other subjects. You know very well that shareholders are the owners of the company. Though they are the owners, management and control of the company is in the hands of the directors. Though shareholders or the owners of the company, the management and control of the company is in the hands of the directors. The directors are responsible for managing the company, and not only that, they have to manage the company as well as they have to achieve the objectives of the company. When we say objectives of the company, the main objective of the company is maximization of shareholders' wealth. So directors are also responsible for preparing the financial statements. And directors get incentives and bonus for their good performance. So because they are getting bonus and other incentives for the good performance of the company, that may lead to conflict of interest, because directors are benefited from reporting higher profits. When the company's performance is good or when they report good profits for the company, they'll be getting more benefits, more bonus or more incentives. So because of this, the directors have various incentives to manipulate the financial statements and show a different level of performance. That means they'll try to show very good performance by manipulating the accounts and thereby the good performance in the financial statements. Okay, so because of this reason, there arises a need to review the financial statements. They have to carry out an independent review of the financial statements. Okay, this is usually done by the external practitioner to ensure that the financial statements give a true and fair view. That is the main thing for auditing. When directors are getting incentives for their good performance, they may be encouraged to manipulate the financial statements and show very good performance. When the performance shown is very good, they'll be getting their bonus and other incentives. So, in order to make sure that the financial statements show a true and fair view, the financial statements need to be reviewed by an external practitioner, mainly to ensure that the financial statements show true and fair view. Okay, so in many countries, most of the developed countries, mainly listed companies and large companies are required by law to produce annual financial statements and get them audited by the external auditor. External audit is the statutory audit. Okay, so this is the first introduction to auditing. What is the need for auditing? Okay, now we'll see the next point. See, actually auditors are carrying out an audit. They are carrying out an audit, so they are entering into an audit engagement with the company, mainly to review the financial statement and express their opinion. Apart from the audit engagement, the auditors also provide many other assurance engagement to the companies and other businesses. So now we will see what is meant by assurance engagement. See, assurance means the practitioner, that is the external practitioner whom we call auditor, is expressing an opinion about specific information so that the users of that information are able to make a confident decisions, and when assurance is given, the risk that the information is being incorrect is reduced. So assurance means auditor is expressing an opinion on a particular information, or you can say a specific information. When they express that opinion, users of that information is gaining confidence, and when assurance is given, the risk of that information being incorrect is also reduced. So this helps the users to make an informed decisions. That is the main purpose of assurance engagement. Okay, so if you want to know the definition exactly what is assurance, the second paragraph you can try to know. Otherwise, if you know the meaning and you can write it in your own words. Engagement in which, that is assurance engagement is an engagement in which the practitioner expresses the opinion, conclusion on a subject matter. Subject matter can be any matter. This is some information. So when they express their opinion, it enhances the degree of confidence of the intended user about the outcome of the evaluation or measurement of a subject matter against certain criteria. Or just you can know this first paragraph, that is enough. Assurance means expressing an opinion about a particular information or specific information so that the user of that information is able to make a confident decisions, and when assurance is given, the risk of that information being incorrect is reduced. So when the assurance is given, the users are having a confidence, their confidence is increased and they are able to make informed decisions. Okay, so this is the meaning of what is an assurance engagement. Okay, next one, we have to know what are the elements of the assurance engagement. There are 5 elements of an assurance engagement. Okay, the 5 elements of assurance engagement is, first element is 3 parties are involved. Okay, 3 parties are involved. Who are the 3 parties? We will see. Second one is a particular specific subject matter. Only for that the external practitioner is, that is auditor, is expressing his opinion. So second element is the subject matter. Third one is suitable criteria. Fourth one is sufficient appropriate evidence. Fifth one is assurance report. Okay, so these 5 elements are 5 elements of an assurance engagement. So you'll see them one by one. First one, 3 parties are involved. That is the first element. Who are the 3 parties? First one is users. That is the intended user of that particular information. So in users are the persons who requires the assurance report, because based on the information they are going to make some decision. Okay, so intended users are the person who requires the assurance from the auditors. Second party is responsible party. You can say responsible party is the entity or the person or organization who are responsible for preparing the subject matter which is to be reviewed. Okay, second party out of 3 parties, the second party is a responsible party who is responsible for preparing that particular information. This can be a person, an entity or organization, and this particular subject matter is to be reviewed. Third party is practitioner, that is accountant or the auditor, who is the professional who will review the subject matter and provide the assurance. Okay, they will review the subject matter and express their opinion, or you can say provide assurance. Okay, next one is second element of the assurance engagement. Second element is suitable subject matter. This is the particular subject matter. Subject matter can be a data or information which is prepared by the responsible party, which needs to be verified by the external practitioner. Okay, which requires verification. That is subject matter. Third element is suitable criteria. Suitable criteria is the one against which the subject matter is to be verified and opinion to be expressed. Okay, the subject matter is to be compared against the criteria, or you can say the subject matter is to be compared to the criteria so that it can be assessed and the opinion can be provided. Okay, suitable criteria, subject matter is to be compared against the criteria and it is to be evaluated and opinion is to be expressed. Next one, sufficient and appropriate evidence. This is the fourth element of the assurance engagement. Sufficient appropriate evidences in order to express opinion on the subject matter. The external practitioner has to collect sufficient and appropriate evidence so that he will be able to give the required level of assurance. Okay. In order to express the opinion about the subject matter, auditor has to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence so that he will be able to express his opinion on the subject matter. Next one, finally, he is issuing the report. This is the fifth element. Fifth element of the assurance engagement is issuing the assurance report. So this report contains opinion given by the practitioner about the subject matter to the intended user. Okay, Assurance report contains opinion expressed by the auditor about the subject matter to the intended user. Okay, this is general assurance engagement. It is not an audit engagement. Okay, assurance engagement can be anything. One of the assurance engagement is audit engagement. Apart from audit engagement, there are other assurance engagement. So these 5 elements are generally for an assurance engagement. 3 parties involved, that is the 3 parties are intended user, responsible party who is preparing the particular subject matter. Third one is a practitioner. Okay, second element is suitable subject matter. Third element is suitable criteria. Fourth element is sufficient appropriate evidence. Fifth element is assurance report. Okay, yeah. Next one, we have seen the 5 elements of assurance engagement. Assurance engagement, what we have seen is general overall for the any assurance engagement. What are the 5 elements? Now we will see what are the 5 elements of audit engagement. Same elements only, but we can specifically say here who's the practitioner, who's the intended user, who's the responsible party, like that. See, now the 5 elements of audit engagement are: first one, 3 parties involved. First party is intended users. Here intended users are the shareholders. Shareholders only want to use the audit report to know the opinion expressed by the auditor on the financial statement, whether the financial statement shows true and fair view. This is the opinion that will be expressed by the auditor. So here the users are the shareholders. Next one, who is the responsible party? Responsible party here is the directors, management, who is responsible for preparing the financial statement. Clear, no? Responsible party is directors, or you can say management, responsible for preparing the financial statements of the company. Third party is a practitioner. Practitioner is the auditor who will express his opinion about the financial statement. That is, whether the financial statement shows true and fair view of the company's financial performance and position. Okay, so 3 parties: intended user, shareholders; responsible party, directors, management, responsible for preparing the financial statement; practitioner, auditor, who expresses his opinion on the subject matter, which is the financial statement. Second element of the audit engagement is subject matter. Subject matter is the financial statements prepared by the management. Okay, that is a subject matter in audit engagement. Financial statements prepared by the management is the subject matter. Third element is suitable criteria. What is a suitable criteria is, here the practitioner will be evaluating the financial statements against the relevant financial reporting framework requirements, and they will express their opinion whether the financial statements are prepared in accordance with the applicable reporting framework, and whether the financial statements show true and fair view of the company's financial performance and financial position. Okay, so suitable criteria is whatever is the requirements given in the financial reporting framework. So the auditor is evaluating whether the financial statements are prepared in line with the requirements of the relevant financial reporting framework. Okay, yeah. Next one, sufficient appropriate evidence. So in order to express their opinion, auditor has to perform audit procedures. He has to obtain sufficient appropriate evidences, review the financial statements, and finally express their opinion. So last element of the audit engagement is audit report, where auditor expresses his opinion as to whether the financial statements show a true and fair view of the financial performance and position of the entity. That is the last element. Audit report, where the auditor is expressing his opinion as to whether the financial statements present fair and true view. Okay, so these 5 elements are 5 elements specifically related to audit engagement. 3 parties: shareholder, who is the intended user; Responsible party, director, management who is responsible for preparing the financial statement. Practitioner, third one, that is the auditor who expresses his opinion. Next one, subject matter. Subject matter is the financial statements prepared by the management. Third one is suitable criteria, that is evaluating the financial statements against the requirements of the applicable reporting framework and expressing their opinion. Sufficient appropriate evidences. Fourth element, that is auditor is performing audit procedures, collecting sufficient appropriate evidences, review the financial statement. Last element is issuing the audit report, whereby the auditor is expressing his opinion whether the financial statement show true and fair view. Okay. So far we studied what is the need for auditing, that you have to understand. Next one, what is meant by assurance engagement. Then what are the 5 elements of assurance engagement and 5 elements of audit engagement. Okay. Yeah. Next one is what is the objective of an external audit. Yeah, we'll see what are the objectives of an external audit. We have already seen that financial statements are prepared by the directors, that is management. Depending on the performance of the company, if the company's performance is really good, directors will be rewarded with bonus and other incentives. So there are chances that the directors may be encouraged to manipulate the information in the financial statements in such a way that they can show better performance than what it is actually, because they want to get good bonus and incentives. So there arises a need to review the financial statements by an external practitioner, and they will express their opinion. Okay. So here the main objective of the external audit is it provides reasonable assurance. First one, what are the assurances it gives. First point, you have to say that whether the financial statement as a whole or free from material misstatement due to fraud and error. Only material misstatement, that you have to underline. Okay, there can be some misstatements, but the misstatement should not be material. So first one, the external audit provides reasonable assurance about whether the financial statement as a whole or free from material misstatements due to fraud and error. Second one, whether the financial statements are prepared in all material respects in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework. That means the financial statement, whatever prepared by the management, should be in line with the requirements of the applicable financial reporting framework. Suppose the entity has to follow IAS, IFRS, then the financial statement prepared should comply with the requirements of the International Accounting Standards and International Financial Reporting Standards. That is the second point. Whether the financial statements are prepared in all material respects in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework. Third one, the auditor has to express an opinion that whether the financial statements present fairly in all material respects, that is, whether the financial statements show a true and fair view of the financial position and financial performance and cash flows of the company concerned. That is the third one. The auditor is expressing an opinion whether the financial statements show a true and fair view of the financial position, financial performance and cash flows of the company concerned. Okay. Last, they have to say that the audit is conducted in accordance with the international standards on auditing and other relevant ethical requirements. Okay. So these are the main objectives of the external audit. So external audit provides assurance. First one, whether the financial statements are free from material misstatements due to fraud or error. Second one, whether the financial statements are prepared in all material respects in accordance with applicable reporting framework, applicable financial reporting framework. Third one, the auditor is expressing an opinion that the financial statements present fairly, or you can say that the financial statements show true and fair view of the financial position, financial performance and cash flow of the company. Last one, audit was conducted in accordance with the international standards on auditing and relevant ethical requirements. So these are the objectives of an external audit. Okay. Yeah. Next, other points. See, when we are talking about this assurance engagement, external audit is one of the assurance engagement. There are other assurance engagements. What are they? See some examples. See, review of financial statements and finally issuing the audit report is the audit engagement. Okay, next one is risk assessment reviews. So auditor can provide a service whereby they will assess the risks the company is exposed to, or they just review the risk assessment already done by the entity. The company would have already carried out risk assessment, which will be reviewed by the auditor and they will express their opinion. That is one of the assurance engagement. Next one, you can say the auditor can perform systems reliability reports. So they'll be expressing their opinion on the systems, to what extent the systems in the entity are reliable, and they'll issue the report. Or they can review the internal control systems in the company. They can provide IT services. Like that, there are so many engagements the auditors will be providing. Okay. Yeah, this is about some introduction related to auditing. So we have seen the need for auditing, what is meant by assurance engagement. Okay, next one, we have studied 5 elements of assurance engagement and 5 elements of audit engagement. Next one, what are the main objectives of an external audit? Okay, and examples of assurance services provided by the auditor. Okay, other points related to audit we will be seeing in the next video.